Hey, guys. So this week we're talking all about the top 3 ways to discover what isn't worthy of you. So, as you may or may not know, we have recently been talking here on the podcast a lot about worthiness. Worthiness for wealth, worthiness for success. Do we feel worthy to sit in a room of wealthy, successful people? Do we feel like we deserve our place at the table? And how really understanding the way our nervous system responds to this will give us feedback about whether or not we feel worthy for those spaces. And if we don't feel worthy for those spaces, for those experiences, for that income, guess what? We're not going to be able to achieve it because our subconscious brain will hold us back from bringing it into our lives. But today here, we're going to be talking about it in a little bit of a different way. Instead of wondering whether we feel worthy to belong to that, we're going to talk about whether that is worthy of us. Because this is extremely, extremely important when it comes to up-leveling your life and business and success and wealth and income and freedom and all of the juicy, pleasurable, amazing things in your life. You got to figure out what belongs there. What the hell is in alignment for me? What the hell feels good for me? What am I claiming? What is a full body ecstatic yes for me? You have to understand that. Otherwise, you're always tuning your dial to maybe. You're always tuning your dial to that'll be all right. You're always tuning your dial to, well, that feels nice, safe, and comfortable, and I guess I'll go for that thing because I'm pretty sure I can have it, instead of I'm going to go to the moon and shooting for it and figuring it out along the way. You see, it takes courage and it takes stepping outside of your comfort zone to get all of the big, juicy, amazing things that you desire in your life. And in order to do that, we have to have big, juicy dreams. And in order to have big, juicy dreams, we have to decide what those big, juicy, amazing, outrageous dreams are full of. What are they? What's the substance of them? What are they made up of? When we understand what they're made up of, and we give ourselves permission to want what we really want instead of wanting what's safe, and we decide what's worthy of being in our lives, guess what happens? That's when we get it. You can't get what you can't dream of. You can't get what you don't allow yourself permission to have. You can't get what you don't decide upon. And so if you're never deciding on this is what I want, guess what? You're never going to get it. So let's dive in further to this conversation into the 3 ways of understanding whether something is actually worthy of being in your life and business, whether something is worthy of your energy, whether something is worthy of your attention. So the question becomes, it's no longer about, am I worthy of this? It's about, is this worthy of me? Because you, my friend, are worthy of every divine thing in the universe, every beautiful thing in the universe. You are a spark of the divine. You come from the divine light. You come from the singularity at the beginning of the universe. If you want to look at it scientifically or spiritually, doesn't freaking matter. What matters is you're part of this divine fabric, which means you are perfect. You're that diamond in the rough. You deserve every divine thing. You are worthy of it. You are enough. You don't need permission for it. You can claim these things. If that's true, and let's just assume that's true, right? This means that the real game is deciding what's worthy of you, what's worthy of being in your life, what's worthy of your time and energy. We talk so much, I talk a lot about money, about income, about wealth. But really, money, income, and wealth is truly about time, energy, and freedom. We want to be able to have our time, energy, and freedom to do whatever the hell we want, whenever the hell we want to do it. And that's what money gives us, right? It gives us more time, energy, and freedom to dedicate to what it is that we want. So what is it that we want to apply our time, energy, and freedom towards? What is it that we want to basically commit ourselves to? Because that's what that is. It's basically a level of commitment to what it is that we want to achieve and what it is that we desire, right? So asking ourselves things like, am I worthy of using my time better right now? Is there a better way to spend my time right now? Have you ever said to yourself, I've got better things to do with my life? That's you asking yourself, is this worthy of me in this moment? Maybe standing in the line at the DMV isn't worthy of your time right now, right? What is your time worth? Do you understand what your time is worth? Have you ever actually sat down and done the 3D reality calculations of what your hourly rate is and what your time is worth to understand what your time is worth in the world? Are you worthy of taking the afternoon off and doing something fun? What is worthy of you? Are you worthy of enjoying your life? And if that's so, then are these experiences that you are having worthy of you? If you are worthy at your core, and you're worthy of enjoying your life, and you're worthy of freedom, and you're worthy of having great energy, and you're worthy of pleasure, and you're worthy of enjoyment, what is worthy of existing in your life with that? So that's the number one thing that you can do to understand whether something is worthy of being in your life, is tuning actually into pleasure, fun, play. You guys hear me talk about this all the time, right? Pleasure, fun, play. People are like, life can't be like that. Life can't be like that. Yeah, bullshit. Life can be like that. Pleasure, fun, play. And if life is pleasure, fun, play, is this experience worthy of me in this moment? Is this worthy of the life that I want to create? So if I want to create a life that feels really good, I want to create a life that feels really juicy. I want to create a life that feels really overflowing and feels really like singing a song, right? Then what that means is that I have to choose whether the experiences that I'm having deserve to be in that life. Because if I'm filling my life full of experiences that are a bunch of bullshit and that are freaking heavy and that are just horrible or that are just like stinking thinking and crappy worry spirals or whatever, guess what? My life's going to be that. And now those things don't deserve a place in our life. So even things as small as, and this might sound overly simplified, and it really is, as small as asking yourself the next time you start to get into a worry spiral about like, oh, what if this happens? And what if this happens? And what if this happens? Saying, you know what? Does this deserve a place in my life? Is this fun? Is this serving a purpose? Is this pleasurable? No, I'm just going to stop it right there. The process can be a bit more complicated to stop that process. However, we never actually look at it from that perspective of like, what's the purpose of this worry, this little worry anxiety spiral that I'm going through? Oh, that's right. There is none. It's actually causing me suffering. It's actually a real drag-a-rooney. I don't enjoy it at all. Why am I playing this channel on the radio? Time to turn the dial. Not going to listen to this anymore. It can also be as simple as asking ourselves, do I deserve pleasure? Yes. So then what deserves a place in my life right now is sitting on a bench and eating an ice cream, is going to get a pizza with my kids in the middle of the day, because that'll be fun. I'm worthy of spending money on myself. That deserves a place in my life. I am worthy of the candles. So those burning the good candles, that deserves a place in my life. And realizing that these things that we're inviting into our lives that are worthy of us is actually us claiming our worthiness. That's the secret of deciding what is worthy of a place in your life, is you're actually deciding that you're worthy enough to claim it. And so this is a practice not only in discernment, which we'll talk about in a minute, but it's a practice in claiming your own worthiness. So this is truly a feeling of expansion, is tuning into that pleasure. So that's number one. Number two is asking yourself, can I have all of this? Can I have all of this? Can I have it all? Can I have all of the good stuff? Yes. Well, then I can invite all the good stuff into my life. I can allow it to all come into my life. I can receive all of those things. I can welcome all of those things in. This is then where we go to number three, which is really about the big vision, which is really about this big, juicy vision we have for our lives, for our businesses, for our impact, for our income, for our relationships, for every single thing that we desire in our life. Maybe we've been playing our dreams too small. Maybe we've been turning the dial down, the volume down on our dreams because we don't think we can have it. We maybe don't think we're worthy of it. But when we embody that worthiness and claim that worthiness, we can invite those big, bold, juicy dreams in, right? And so maybe, just maybe, your dreams haven't been worthy of you because they've been so small that it's like going to the store and trying on the children's clothing. And you're like, why doesn't this fit? And this just doesn't feel right. Well, because it's not actually worthy of the expansion that you have inside of you. It's not actually worthy of this big, bold vision that in this like this impact and desire you have inside of you. And yet your limited thinking, your money blocks, your limiting beliefs, your subconscious, junk in your trunk, as I like to call it, is standing in the way between you and those big dreams and shrinks them down. It's almost like looking through the telescope the opposite way, where it makes everything really small instead of really big. And it makes it really small because that's what your subconscious mind decides is safer, because that's your comfort zone. But those small dreams aren't worthy of you. And so they're actually really uncomfortable. They actually are really uncomfortable. So if the second thing to ask yourself is, can I have everything? And then you can get to the point where you say yes. Next, you go to your big vision and you say, okay, what have I not been allowing into my life? It's this big, juicy, delectable, delightful, overflowing, overwhelming, amazing thing that I haven't given myself permission to desire. I haven't given myself permission to claim. I haven't given myself permission to go there out of fear, out of whatever, and then asking yourself questions like, do you need it? Do you want it? What if you can just have it and you don't need it and you just want it and you just desire it? And that's all you have to do to claim it, to go after it, to have that big vision. I see this a lot with money mindset, is people tend to rein in their vision based upon what it is that they feel like they need. This is particularly true of conscious entrepreneurs who feel as though it's greedy and to want more than they need. But what is need? How much do we need? What is enough? What is the line? Where do we then put limits on our perspective on a scarcity mindset that once we take more than we need, somebody else has to lose? Why is there a line there? Why can't everybody win all of the time? A true abundant, expansive mindset says that no matter how far I scale my income, no matter how far I scale my impact, success, all of these things, I can always come from an abundant mindset that says there's a win-win-win-win-win-win situation. There's a win-win-win-win-win-win scenario available to all of us, available where we all get to win. And so if I put limits on that if I make more than enough or more than I need, and then I'm being greedy, guess what? I'm actually coming from a lack mindset, not from an abundant mindset. I'm coming from a mindset that says, I can't have things above this level. I'm not worthy of things above this level, or I'm bad if I have things above this level, or if I turn my money thermostat up to this level, or these things don't deserve a place in my life, that I'm not worthy of them. And so I want to encourage you to ask yourself questions like that. The last piece that I really want to get into here, and I think we're probably going to talk about this in the future, is the difference between judgment and discernment. I talk a lot about, we really want to move away from this sense of judgment. Like, you're enough, you're not enough, you're not worthy, you are worthy, everybody's worthy, everybody's enough, everybody is deserving of amazing, beautiful things. And I want us all to really sink into that and anchor into that, knowing that we're all inherently worthy. However, we have to take different actions in order to get different results. That's the first thing. And we've been talking about that, a lot when we've been having these conversations about worthiness. But what I really want to dig into here is the concept that there's a difference between saying something is bad or good, saying something is people shouldn't or people should, because that is judgment. And that's, everybody's allowed to have their own path and everybody's allowed to just do whatever the fuck they want. Like that's what freedom is. Discernment is saying this is right or wrong for me. Discernment is tasting something on a menu and saying yummy or yucky, I don't like it. But just because I don't like it doesn't mean other people might not like it. Like black licorice is one of those things for me. I hate black licorice. Like that aniseed taste, blah, yucky. Lots of people love that. So when I say black licorice is bad, that's judgment. When I say black licorice is yucky and I don't like the taste, that's discernment. And when we come to what is worthy of me, we want to come from a place of discernment. What's right for me? Because what's right for you might be very radically different than what's right for other people. And understanding the difference between judgment and discernment allows you not only to basically let go of the concept that other people need to think the way you do, but more importantly, it allows you to let go of the concept that if you're not thinking the way other people are or desiring what other people want, that somehow you're wrong, which then gets into a whole other bucket of how do we actually allow ourselves the space for our desires that say, I can have whatever the hell I want, and it doesn't have to fit some narrative, and it doesn't have to fit what other people think is appropriate. Now, that's a conversation for a different day. But I would love to hear from you in terms of what's come up for you around claiming what is worthy of a space and place in your life, what is worthy of you, and this slight difference between judgment and discernment. And I'd really, really love to hear from you about how limiting your vision is actually a lack mindset. All right. I'll see you again soon.